All right, guys, welcome to the show. The one and only number 5 currently on the WTA ranking, Jessica Pegula. Jess, welcome to the show. Welcome to the French Connection with myself and, of course, Sam Querrey. Jess, first of all, what's been going on? Can you give us an update on sort of what your life has been like over the last couple of months?
Yeah. Well, I was, playing a lot of matches up until Charleston, played Billie Jean King Cup, and then unfortunately kind of sustained a little bit of an injury, basically like the week before I was leaving for Madrid. So unfortunately had to pull out of basically the whole rest of the clay court season. So upset I'm missing Roland Garros, but trying to play it smart and be ready to go for full grass, hard Olympics, the rest of the year.
Awesome. Do you have a tournament you've kind of highlighted as your first tournament back or trying to get back to?
I think I'm going to play Bosch in Holland. Actually, I haven't played that. It was actually the first grass court tournament I ever played. And I don't know if I've been back since. So I'm excited, though, because I've actually never played like a full grass court season. It just like I'm always a long clay court season, then I come back and then I go back over. So it'll be, I think, actually good because, I think my game's more suited for the grass anyways.
Yeah, Jess, I mean, how much did that go into it, not playing the French, your decision to really focus on Wimbledon? We all know, obviously, how close you came, to being into that Wimbledon final. But I want to know what you learned from that, but also, was that one of the reasons why you decided, look, I could probably play the French, but I'm not really prepared for it? How much of a decision was that for you?
Yeah, definitely. I think looking at it the perspective of like my grass court game has been getting better. I think I have a good game to do well there. And then not wanting to jeopardize that, especially with the kind of slammed year with Olympics. It's always everything's really back to back. And then obviously I always love the hard court swing. So I think kind of prioritizing that and not rushing into the French, although it's a slam and I've done well there before and I would trust me, like love to play. It was just a little bit too much too soon. I think if I had a few extra days, I maybe would have been able to go. But, like you said, having good results last year, I think I'm prioritizing kind of that part of the season.
Now, we mentioned it earlier. You're ranked number 5. You've been top 10 for basically 2 years in singles, which is impressive. Your double results are also impressive.
Thank you.
You've won a ton of Masters series. When you get back into things in Hertogenbosch, I wanted to compliment you on how you pronounce that. No one knows how to pronounce that. It's the lowercase s and then a capital H, Hertogenbosch. Are you planning to play singles and doubles, like get right back into it full swing and kind of go both events moving forward?
Yeah, I think so. I definitely would love, just as the first week on grass, getting extra grass court practice is always, I think, a good idea. So I would love to get right back into kind of competing match situations. I think I'll be fine. So I'll definitely do that. I don't know about the rest of the tournaments, like the week before, if I play Eastbourne leading up into Wimbledon, will I play both events? Probably not. I'm not sure yet. But I would say for the first 2 weeks, definitely want to get as much grass court prep as possible.
Just on that, Jess, Sam's already mentioned how long you've been inside of the top 10. I mean, that's an incredible result for you. 100 consecutive weeks in the WTA top 10. I don't think people realize how hard that is to do on a consistent basis, because you have to stay injury-free. You have to be consistent every week. So what does that mean to you? Looking back like 4 or 5 years ago on, where you were ranked and what you were doing, what does it mean to you to have that longevity of success?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I was always hurt all the time. And then finally, I hadn't been hurt till now, really, for the last like a long time, like 4 years or something. So I've been able to really play. And I've always said, when people ask me, like, what have you done? I'm like, well, I've been really healthy. And I feel like I've been able to play every week and push myself to get better and learn and get more experience. And now that I've been hurt the last like month, I'm like, gosh, this sucks. I haven't had to deal with this for a long time. But at the same time, I feel like every injury, I've always come back better. So I feel like it's just giving me extra kind of like a fire to kind of get back out there and get back to competing. It's nice for like a week when you're resting and everything. And then, you're watching everyone play, everyone's competing, you turn on TV and you see it. And I'm like, oh gosh, I wish I was there. Like, you're just itching to get back out there. But I mean, health is, I would say the number one priority, because you can't do well or you have no chance if you're not healthy. So that is definitely something I've prided myself on. And but you can't stay perfect forever. I feel like every athlete goes through some sort of injury or something that sets them back. So I'm just taking it as a little break and a chance to get back out there.
Well, we had a little injury there because I think we lost Sam. I think I don't know if his computer fell off the table or what was going on.
I don't know what I just was pushed off the StreamYard, but I'm back and ready to go here. We're adjusting. Luckily, I'm very quick with my technology, and I was right back on. Jess, like myself, I have an Achilles injury. You've been injured. Obviously, that gives you a little extra time. Have you seen the Challengers movie yet?
Is he breaking up or is it just me?
No, I think he wanted to ask you, and I think he did ask you. Maybe you're too embarrassed to answer this question, but have you seen Challengers yet?
Oh, really? That was the question? No, I actually haven't. I need to. It's kind of bad. I feel like everyone went and saw it, but I haven't seen it yet.
I also haven't seen it, if that makes you feel any better. We're the only two.
I have seen it. I will leave I'm not going to tell you anything. But, look, it's very hard for a tennis professional to go and watch a tennis movie and not you know what I'm trying to say, critique the absolute living heck out of it.
Yeah.
But the storyline is kind of interesting. But anyway, I don't know what I'd give it out of 10. I gave it a 3 out of 10 when I left the movies. But now that I've processed it all.
That's awful.
Now that I've processed it, I'd probably give it a 6.5. But not aside from the tennis stuff, that was like a 1. But Jess, I want to know, if the injuries happen to you like that, and we know about your family's connections with the Bills, all of that sort of stuff. Does it give you an opportunity also to think about the family business and what you want to do after tennis career is over? Because, we don't think about what we're going to do after because we think that's failing in what we're doing now. Mm-hmm. But I want to know from your perspective, holistically, was that kind of interesting for you as well to sit back and think about what am I going to do when I'm done?
Yeah, I mean, I do. I feel like that is a common theme where you think about the next thing and it does make you feel like you're failing now, which is totally not true, right? I mean, there's multiple parts to your life. And I think being an athlete in the limelight, you get stuck on, and just, I feel like the perception too of American sports, it's well, if you're not winning every single tournament, you're kind of failing, right? Yeah. And I don't know why we're like that. We're so tough on our athletes like that, but it's so not true. I mean, you can have an amazing career and then have another amazing career afterwards and something totally different. So I've always, I think, taken the healthier approach of looking to see what I can do after. It's always helped me tennis wise too, take some pressure off and kind of look towards the future. But yeah, I mean, definitely I would love to be involved in sports. I mean, ever since I was a kid, really, even before that, I always wanted to be involved. I wanted to be the first female GM of a hockey team, that when I was 15. That was I would tell my dad that, and I have zero experience knowing anything about hockey. So I don't know how I was planning to do that, but that was my goal. So I've always wanted to be involved in sports, and I mean, tennis too, and just every sport, because I feel like it's helped me so much and it teaches you so much from a young age that I don't know how people live their lives without it. I mean, I know there's many that do, but to me it seems impossible. So I'd always love to be involved in that down there.
Well, there is that PWHL now, and get a little women's team up in Buffalo. I'm just saying.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway. Have you ever played tennis with any of the Bills players?
I've never seen any of them play tennis. I've told the Bills team that I would love to do a tennis thing with them. I think that'd be really funny. Of course, not in season. I don't want anyone getting hurt. But because, then that would be really bad. But I think it would be really fun to kind of do a little tennis academy. I don't know, some sort of video with them and see who's the best. Because I've seen I think in Miami, some of the Dolphins players played with Emma and Ben Shelton. So I would love to see some of the Bills players get out there and show me what they got.
All right. Well, call me up. I'll come and critique them as well.
All right, with the French Open starting in 4 days, and you're injured, obviously, although feeling better, are you going to sit home, watch the French Open? Will you have kind of FOMO, not watch it? What's your plan for the 2 weeks of the French Open while you're not playing?
I don't know. I've just started practice, back to real practicing again. I don't know. I feel like it'll be if I remember and I turn it on. And then I might get into it, but I feel like if I just kind of decide not to get involved, then I really won't watch much for the next 2 weeks. But I feel like I always watch the slams. I'm always, kind of dialed in. And if there's some really good matchups and the time zone permits, then I definitely would want to watch some.
Jess, what you're saying is that you're not going to get up at 4 a.m. to start watching it. Okay, it's got to be in your timeline.
I don't even know what the time zone change is because I'm never here. Is it 4 a.m.?
6 hours, Jess. Come on, you're better than this. All right,
Try
so what's
on the West Coast with me? It's 9
true.
hours.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
Listen, I hate to burst both your bubbles, but try growing up in Australia where you got to get up at 1 a.m. to watch any kind of decent tennis. So it's not so great. But Jess, what's your favorite memory on the court and off the court in Paris?
In Paris, I mean, I would definitely say, making the quarterfinals there. I think that was something that was really big. I remember the match before. I'm sorry, I think it was 2 matches before, so maybe, I don't know, second, third round. But I beat kind of a clay quarter, and it was a really tough match. And I remember just getting a lot of confidence from that because it was kind of more of a mental battle. And being able to use that to then win the next match and, play Iga in the quarters on Chatrier was really cool. Just because clay wasn't always, I like playing on clay. I've had good results, but I'm not really supposed to go super deep there. So that was really, I feel like, that was really cool. And then making the finals of the doubles with Coco as well. That was a really good year for us. Starting to do really well in singles and then having a big result in doubles too was really fun. And then she played, the finals there. So it was cool to be there for the full 2 weeks. But that year was a good year.
I always had that kind of same confidence. I wasn't a clay quarter. Maybe you were obviously way better on clay than I was. But if I ever won matches on clay, it gave me fake confidence, almost false hope going forward. You're like, wow, I'm this tall guy that plays well on clay, and I wasn't not supposed to win these, but I win them, and it helped me going into the grass court season.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not a clay quarter, but I'm not awful. I definitely still can do well. So, I mean, I don't mind, especially if it's nice weather and it's a good day in Paris. The courts, it plays pretty fast. I really actually like the conditions. If it rains all night, and I remember one year I played Sabalenka and it rained all day, and I played on Langland, and I was just, the balls were massive and they were wet, and I lost. I played her first round. I don't think she was even seeded then. This was 3-4 years ago. Anyways, I lost. It was awful. I was the ball wasn't going anywhere. She was just teeing off, and I was I hate the French. This sucks, blah, blah, blah. But then the next year I actually started to find my footing on clay, and I actually really enjoyed it. So,
well, there's clay court tennis wrapped up in a great sentence, because when you win, it's great. When you don't, but also I think people at home need to understand conditions, particularly at the French Open, affect the play more than any. A little bit on grass for sure when it's hot. And when it's cold, it's damp, it doesn't bounce as high. But on clay, it's a really big difference. And I think you illustrate. And you play, it's the one surface that you play through a little bit of rain. So that doesn't make it easy as well.